Welcome to CityWise. I'm your host, Tiana Stevens. CityWise is produced by the City of Rochester to shine a spotlight on city living at its best. Well, thousands of pieces of art have been sent into the Rochester Contemporary Art Center from all around the world, as well as from just around the corner. RoCo is gearing up for its annual 6x6 exhibit. It's an event that's uniquely Rochester, and here to tell us more is Bleu Cease, Executive Director and Curator at RoCo, and Susan Doran, the Service Learning Coordinator at the Pittsford Central School District. Thanks for coming in today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
How did the 6x6 exhibit get started?
We needed an alternative to an art auction. We sort of played that out, and we wanted a new fundraising approach. And we looked around at a few examples around the country and around the world. And so we took a couple details from a few different projects and pieced together what we now know as our model for 6x6. And we wanted something that was mass participation, mass engagement, and something that was very easy for people to be involved as an artist or be involved as a buyer / supporter. And so we kind of came up with a formula based on that.
Okay, and Susan, what's your role at the Pittsford School District, and how do you relate to the 6x6 project?
Well, my role for this project is I'm the Community Service Advisor for the Greenhouse Service Learning Lab at Thornell Road School. And there the students do a variety of things. They have a worm farm, they grow plants, but they also have a paper-making lab. And in the paper-making lab, the students, 5th graders, make every year over 500 sheets of paper that we made decal boxes that are 6 by 6 inches so that we can then carry it over into the RoCo exhibit. Okay,
so for the artwork submissions, is it any medium? It looks like a wide variety. What does some of the artwork look like?
Yeah, it's wide open, and we want to encourage people to use different media of all kinds. And we receive paintings, of course, and sculptures, and photographs, and drawings. We receive sometimes little pieces that include maybe something mechanized or something electronic. Wow. It's incredible, yeah.
It's been 8 years running. This is the 8th year. How has the exhibit changed over the years?
Well, first of all, it's grown. And so when we first kicked this off, we didn't know exactly, how it would be received or what kind of success we would have with it. And we were overwhelmed. The first few years it grew exponentially, and we needed to start trimming back the number of pieces per person because we outgrew our gallery, simply put. So we started to trim back from unlimited per person to 10 per person, 6 per person. This year it's only 4 artworks per person. So what's happened is the content is a little more refined in that people are putting in fewer pieces and maybe a little more fully considered. Rather than 100 artworks by one person, we might get 1 or 2 per person. But it's still varied. There are youth, there are professionals, hobbyists, celebrities, everyone.
What have the students' reaction been? What have they told you about how they enjoy participating in this?
Well, it's interesting for them because it goes full circle from them making the paper to the art teacher, Helga Lubers, teaches a lesson for the whole school, and then at open house we have our own exhibit, and from that we choose 4 that go to the gallery. So they can see all sides of it, their gallery, then they go downtown, they see the gallery down there, and the students, we pick 1 from every grade to go downtown. And when they walk in and see their artwork on the wall next to all it's amazing for them because it's their artwork on the wall of a main gallery, and it's pretty exciting.
Sure. So what does it take to install these thousands of pieces at RoCo, and how long does it take?
Well, it takes about 700 hours. We've recently calculated that. And it takes an incredible team of volunteers and staff. And we've been installing for the last week, and it's going very, very well. We're ahead of schedule, but it takes a lot of time, and we've got some systems that we've come up with over the years. But it's sort of it's sort of Henry Ford's art exhibition, right? It's all systematized and mass production. But of course there are, always the unique exceptions. How do you install that glass, very delicate artwork, next to the other pieces that are a little more easily installed? So.
Right. Is there a significance to the number 6? Why 6, not 7?
It just was a convenient number to start with, a very reasonable size, and back to the core concept, we really wanted it to be super easy for artists to contribute and make a piece, rather than them giving up something that was very, very valuable or something they put a lot of time and energy into. Anyone can make something that's 6 inches square. A professional artist, a hobbyist, a painter who's used to working very large, well, maybe they can just make a little doodle. Or a poet, maybe they can draw and write a little broadside of some kind.
Now, do people know who the artist is when they're buying a piece?
Right, that's one of our tenets for the show. The pieces are all anonymous until purchased. So immediately upon buying it, you get a receipt with the artist's name.
Okay.
And there are some very famous artists in the show, local celebrities of note, and many regional and local artists of note. And so there'll be a period where people can come in to preview the exhibition, 5 days, from June 1st through June 5th.
Okay.
And there's no purchasing during that period. So people are there shopping, looking for their favorites, trying to recognize those pieces that they really want to add to their collection, or that they might think are very valuable.
Okay.
And then on opening night, we have a competitive raffle for the first 20 buyer positions. And so when those buyer numbers are selected, the winner can run around and tag their favorite works, and it's a playful, but it's a competitive sort of game show environment.
Right, and
It's
I know
fun.
that Mayor Warren is one of our local celebrities who has submitted some pieces, and I'm just going to drop a little hint for our viewers, and it's in the form of an action. So if you can just give me a little high five. Okay, so there's the hint. What's one of your favorite pieces, Susan, that the students, and maybe not to pick favorites, or something that has stood out over the years?
From the students?
From the students.
My favorite I actually have hanging on my wall in my office was one that when I think it was 3 years ago, we had 500 pieces up there, and there was this one a little boy drew, and it was just a watercolor of a face, and it was beautiful. And it is a competition there, so I'm sure Mom wasn't happy that I got it first. So, and it's on my wall in my office, so
Nice.
it's one of my favorites.
Nice. Do you have a favorite, Bleu?
No, I don't. I mean,
How about
I've seen
most
thousands and
extravagant?
thousands.
What stands out in your mind?
Most extravagant. We've had some works, like I said, that are mechanized. They have little machines built into them, or they have a little video screen built into them, and those are incredible. What Susan's describing, the kind of school engagement, was also something that evolved through this project's growth. We needed to limit the number of pieces that we could fit into the gallery. And so this was sort of our creative solution. So there's schools all around the country that are doing this, having their own little 6x6 exhibition, some type of criteria, selecting 4 winning pieces and then sending them in to us.
Nice.
So we find that really, really fun and engaging when we receive these packages from a middle school in South Dakota without any other connection to that town or to that teacher.
And from all over the world, right? What's maybe the farthest or the farthest place that has sent in submissions?
But this year, our crew and a number of other volunteers did an incredible job of promoting this. We started promoting it in November of last year. So we received works this year from Zambia and South Africa, Iceland, Bhutan. Those are a few new countries just this year that we had not received from in the past.
Susan, why is it important as an educator to be involved in a project like this?
I think the connection, I feel personally, some of the art, the connection for students to see their artwork and to incorporate the artwork. They have made something, the art teacher has made a connection between writing and some of them, and then it goes to the community. So I think art, the community, and the classroom makes it full circle for them.
Bleu, why is this an important event for Rochester?
Well, I think, first of all, it's certainly our exhibition, and I think it's one of the exhibitions in Rochester that makes the arts, especially contemporary art, completely accessible and engaging for anyone, no matter their interest, no matter their background or their prior experience with the visual arts. And that's sort of one of the other parts of this show. There are many, many angles to it, but that's what we find. We find that people come in and they may not have a strong connection with contemporary art otherwise, but with this show, with 6,000 pieces to look at from all around the globe. There's quite a wow factor. And especially for such a small gallery like us, a small nonprofit, to pull this off and to have built this national reputation for doing so, I think people like to be engaged with it for that reason as well.
Now, do you generally sell out all of the pieces?
No.
Okay,
I wish.
So what happens to the pieces that are left over?
We have an archive, so all the pieces are also for sale on our website during this time. So we digitize them, we catalog them, and people can buy the artworks internationally.
Wow.
That online purchasing begins a few days after the opening reception.
Okay.
So all the works from prior years that have not sold are still available for purchase on our website. So we have this incredible archive.
What are some of the key events that are associated with the exhibit?
Well, we launched the online preview, so the works can be seen and just looked through on our website. We launched that on the 22nd, May 22. Then our preview hours, in-house, in-gallery preview hours begin June 1st through June 5th. And then Saturday, June 6th is our big opening reception kickoff. We're open from 4 to 10, so people can come in from 4 p.m. till about 7. And again, preview. Then we do the raffle selection at 7:30. That's the competitive. People who really want to get their favorite piece, they'll be ready. And then the show runs through mid-July.
Okay. Well, we're so excited for you guys, and congratulations on another year. And again, the 6x6 exhibit opens on Saturday, June 6th. For more information and hours, visit ROCO6x6.org or call 461-2222. Giddy up, Rochester, and get ready for the Food Truck Rodeo. Lasso up your appetite and enjoy great local food, local brew, and local bands at the Rochester Public Market, 280 North Union Street. Bring a folding chair and eat, drink, and kick back on the last Wednesday of the month, now through October. For a full schedule of dates and bands, visit cityofrochester.gov/foodtruckrodeo or call 311 for more information. Well, their name means patience, endurance, consistency, and faithfulness, and the AKOMA-African American Women's Gospel Choir is living up to its name. AKOMA is marking a special anniversary this year and celebrating in a big way, and we're joined by Dr. Arlette Miller-Smith, founder and Artistic Director of AKOMA, and Rita Mitchell, Scholarship Committee Chair. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you for inviting us.
So AKOMA has a very rich history in Rochester. How did it get started?
Well, as we said, 20 years ago, we were actually a part of 95-75 celebration, which was down at the Memorial Art Gallery. So they wanted to close out that event, which was the 75th anniversary of the 19th Amendment, which we also know as the Susan B. Anthony Amendment. There had been a number of programs throughout that week, and the closeout was going to be on a Saturday night, and someone said, well, why don't we do a gospel concert? And certainly there must be such a group here in Rochester. And as they say, the rest is herstory.
How did the choir get its name, AKOMA?
You want to talk about that? Well, Dr. David Anderson, we sought his guidance in developing the name, which is an Akan name, which means patience, endurance, consistency, and faithfulness. So we had an expert in the area to come up with a name that we felt matched our heritage as well as our mission.
Okay.
And the symbol is the heart.
Right.
So we always talk about a heart full of praise.
What are some of the events that AKOMA hosts throughout the year?
It really depends on, from year to year, it varies, but we pretty much consistently have, in February, we do a concert, in fact, the Heritage Concert for the City of Rochester with Voices of Thunder, and we always do this annual scholarship concert. From there, it depends on the need in terms of various churches, higher ed institutions, conferences, and so forth.
And how many members does AKOMA have?
Currently have 55 active members on the roster, and that's represented by, I think it's 30 churches, 30 different churches.
Okay. How does a person become a member of AKOMA?
Generally, membership begins in the fall, in September. We usually have those new members to come in October, which is when we officially start our concert year.
And there is an application process.
Okay.
Generally, you would find that an AKOMA member is an African American woman who's committed to her God, her church, and her community, involved in different ways, and gifted with voice in order to sing and be involved with oratory presentations.
And who are some of your members that are well known in the community?
Oh gosh, we have a number of educators. Many of them are retired. We also have a new growing crop of young, professionals.
Okay.
We are now on Facebook, and we also have a Twitter account. So, we are growing there as well. And in fact, we've had a request for membership via Facebook.
Okay. Well, tell me about AKOMA's mission. You guys do a lot of outreach in the community, that sort of thing.
I'll let Rita start, and we can just kind of go back and forth.
It is our intention that, drawing from the legacy and our ancestry, that we strive to give a hands up to others in the community, specifically our young African American women. It's not limited to that population, most certainly. And we are a ministry. We bring the good news, the gospel of Jesus Christ, and we do that through our song. And primarily it is our ministry that drives us. And support for young women and various organizations that we have in the community, such as the YWCA, other organizations geared for the youth.
Okay.
And oration as well. After our first year together was when we actually decided that one very specific way that we wanted to give back to the community was to establish a scholarship fund, which we did in the name of our elder member, Sister Nona Patterson Chambers, who she was a faithful member and singer until probably 2 years before she passed at 101.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
And she was our inspiration for actually putting together that scholarship, because when she was in her 80s, she decided that because she had not graduated from high school, she went back to school and got her GED.
Wow.
And in fact, she had only a third grade education when she decided to pursue.
So quite a legacy.
Yes.
Who are some of the scholarship winners for this year?
We won't reveal names, because we reserve that for the big event, for the anniversary. But we have 8 recipients.
Wow.
And they're in a typical recipient would be one, as we've said, would be active in leadership roles in her church organizations as well as her school, student government. You'll find their athletes, their musicians, dancers, in addition to being high Regents diploma recipients, National Honor Societies, and pursuing careers, CPAs, neurologists, pediatric dentistry. We were just so gratified in meeting our recipients this year, those who were chosen to be recipients, and really encouraged about our future.
Can you think of a success story of a previous scholarship winner that maybe they've already graduated from college?
Erica Bryant, right here in Rochester, as you know, who is a reporter for the DNC. And in fact, she and her son were very instrumental in helping us with our last concert. So we are very hoping that Erica, of course, can be with us as well. My own daughter was a recipient, and she is, I think she's a success story. She has her MBA, she works as a consultant, and she is also very supportive continually of AKOMA. So our 8 young women this year are now a part of that roll of recipients of about 97.
97.
Wow.
Yes, young
Okay.
women across this actually 19-year period for the scholarship concert. I mean, scholarship itself, the concert for 20 years, to about $87,000.
That's right.
Okay.
More than 87,000.
Now, Arlette, you brought something with you today. Tell us about this.
Well, as a part of our founding and that our African heritage, this is our kente strips, and these strips are actually made in Africa and shipped to us. As you can see, it has our name, it has some musical symbols, but it also has the symbol of the heart, which is the Adinkra symbol in West Africa for us. We have 5 different fabrics that we wear when we are in our ministry, and the 6th, of course, is this particular strip.
Okay. Now, the event itself, is that open to the public? How can people come and enjoy that?
Very
Okay.
open to the public.
Okay.
And we are hopeful that the community will turn out in mass as it has in previous years. And it is as a result of the support, the financial giving and support from the community that we've been able to bestow in excess of $87,000 in scholarships.
Now, do you work also with community partners in Rochester to make these things happen?
You mean our programs themselves? Pretty much we do all of the work. We do have an executive board. We are a 501(c)(3) as well. We have bylaws and so forth. So, you know, there's been a lot of work that we have done across the years to make sure that we are in a place where we can support the community. Now, even though the scholarship fund is our primary focus in terms of community given, we also have worked in various churches as well with the Y and other young women's groups, you know, that are coming along.
Okay.
And being part of events sponsored by the various museums
Yes.
and colleges and universities in the area.
Now, so the event 20 Years of Praise has a rather large venue this year. And how many people are you expecting to turn out?
Well, I mentioned to her that at times it's been standing room only, but
Yes.
depending on the venue, but I would say definitely about 500.
Yes.
Right?
This year we are at Mount Olivet, which
Okay.
is in historic Cornhill.
Right.
We will begin at 6 o'clock, as you know. And so we definitely want, and we have a large number of supporters that wherever we are, we have done things in Buffalo and beyond, they travel with us.
Now, people want to see, hear, feel the singing.
Yes.
They can visit the website, and there's some videos posted there. How do people, or a group, how would they go about booking AKOMA to come to their event or their school?
We have one of our members, and in fact we have co-presidents, and one of those presidents is in charge of all of the booking for the group. Primarily it's done through the website and through our email address. And as I said, now we are also on both Facebook and Twitter. So, you know, we are in the 21st century with technology.
Right. Now, where do you see AKOMA 20 more years from now?
Oh gosh, that's quite a question, isn't it?
It is. But I would hope that our legacy will be the force that continues to drive us forward. As Dr. Miller-Smith mentioned, Arlette mentioned, we have a number of the younger generation enriching us so that we're confident that the energies that they bring will serve to propel us into the future, as well as the energies that we hope will come from those past scholarship recipients. We do have fortunate occasions that they join us, becoming a part of the choir. So that's what we're looking for, and perhaps one of your grandchildren, Arlette,
Yes.
will be on the executive board of
There
AKOMA
it
in
is.
20 years.
Yeah, we really do try to pass that baton on. That's the whole purpose, in fact, for us to have the scholarship, program, so that into the future there will be another, room full of sisters,
Yes.
like jewels in the crown, vanilla, cinnamon, and sweet dark chocolate brown. Imagine yourself in the midst of this glory, as I describe the sisters, who are all a part of the story. We are wearing black, accented with gold and nutmeg brown, but on top of our heads, some of us wear open crowns. But it's not about how we fashionably appear, because our beauty is in all of the values that we revere. We are smart, articulate, and well-read, with all kinds of black history stored in our heads. So imagine, if you will, the essence and the thrill as you sit in the crowd. With this AKOMA crowd, it is the room full of sisters, like jewels in a crown, vanilla,
Wonderful.
cinnamon, and sweet dark chocolate brown.
Thank you, ladies, so much for coming on today. If you'd like more information about AKOMA, you can visit their website, akoma.org, or you can send an email to akomagc@gmail.com. I'm Tiana Stevens, and we'll see you next week.